It's Tuesday, October 7th.
I lost my brother. I have one brother. He was my only brother, 3.5 years younger than me. He was my anchor in life.
Families and survivors mourn the people killed or taken hostage during the October 7th attacks a couple of years ago.
I think it has proved to be effective in keeping speeds at a minimum, in particular in school zones.
Saskatchewan has no plans to get rid of photo radar, at least for now.
I think there's no one that works harder than Trevor. Like when we're out here for 2.5 hours, however long we're out here, an hour and a half, I don't even know what it is, but he works the whole time.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are getting set for this weekend's tilt with the Toronto Argonauts, and their quarterback is locked in. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Did you see the supermoon?
I did. How beautiful was that? Well, I want photos.
Closest to the, we need photos. When we send those into Your Morning Saskatchewan at CTV.ca. Also, you can see Saturn with the naked eye last night.
Oh, okay.
Little dot off to the right-hand side.
Okay. Well, I saw the moon. The moon looked great.
the moon was very, very big, very full. And warm today?
Warmer than yesterday, and even warmer as we look towards the rest of the week.
The wind was biting yesterday. Let's get to weather in just a moment. First, let's get to news. We begin in Washington, where Prime Minister Mark Carney is getting set to go face-to-face, with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House.
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
Carney is expected to push Trump for some relief on punishing tariffs on Canadian steel, and there's new levy for leaders to talk about this morning. Trump posting on social media that the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on light and medium-duty trucks. The Prime Minister's office says Energy Minister Tim Hodgson will be a part of today's delegation, suggesting natural resources will be a part of the talks. As we mentioned briefly there, medium and heavy-duty trucks will be heading to the U.S. with a 25% tariff now.
Could be fire trucks, could be buses. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario, or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
U.S. President Donald Trump making that announcement with a November 1st start date. Last month, the president said heavy truck imports would face new duties on national security grounds, saying the new tariffs were to protect manufacturers from unfair outside competition. Mexico is the largest exporter of medium and heavy-duty trucks to the United States. Federal budgets will now be released in the fall instead of the spring.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding. C'est bien.
That will start with the upcoming November 4th budget. The economic and fiscal updates will now come in the spring, closer to the start of the fiscal year on April 1st. The budget is also set to introduce a separation between ongoing or operating and capital expenditures. Ottawa says the change is aimed at reviving stalled business investment and focus on how federal dollars contribute to long-term economic resilience. The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimates that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. The government plans to balance the operational budget in 3 years. Premier Scott Moe says his government is not considering ending photo radar in this province. The effectiveness of automated speed enforcement, that's what the technical name of those cameras is, has been under debate in other provinces, including Ontario, where the premier there, Doug Ford, has called it a cash grab. The Ontario government plans legislation this fall to end its use. Saskatchewan's premier believes photo radar reduces traffic speed.
I think it has proved to be effective in keeping speeds at a minimum, in particular in school zones, and that's would be the highest priority space. And so we haven't had any of those discussions here, but I did hear that Premier Ford was sounding off on photo radar in Toronto and Ontario.
Saskatchewan has 9 photo radar cameras located in Regina, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw, and Waka. Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, two prominent Freedom Convoy leaders, are expected to learn their sentences today, nearly 4 years after the protest movement blockaded downtown Ottawa. Leach, seen here leaving her bail hearing in July of 2022. Both were found guilty of mischief in April, with Barber also convicted of counseling others to commit mischief. The Crown is seeking 7 years for Leach, 8 years for Barber, citing widespread impact on Ottawa residents. Defense lawyers are asking for absolute discharges, pointing to strict bail conditions already served. The 2022 protest prompted the first ever use of the Federal Emergencies Act. City of Saskatoon is launching a 5-year strategy to address homelessness to improve housing affordability. The plan, called the Saskatoon Housing called Housing Saskatoon, focuses on diversifying housing, boosting affordable supply, and ensuring fair access to housing. The city says about 11,000 households face housing insecurity, including low-income families, single mothers, seniors, and Indigenous residents.
It's important to me that we are getting people at the lowest end so that they can start to move through the housing continuum as they get those support services going through.
The strategy will be presented at 2 City Council meetings on Wednesday. There will be another planned outage at the Buffalo Pound water treatment plant today. The outage is scheduled to begin at 7 a.m., should last 12 hours. The planned outage is part of ongoing construction at the facility. Capacity in Moose Jaw reservoirs will allow water service to continue uninterrupted. In an historic first, renewable energy is now the world's leading source of electricity.
Indicates that fossil fuels no longer need to grow to meet our appetite for electricity.
A rag to clean that little camera on her computer there. According to new analysis, worldwide solar and wind power generation increased faster than growth of electricity demand in the first 6 months of the year. It also shows renewable energy sources are expanding fast enough to meet global increases in power needs. The report, released by energy think tank Ember, also found that for the first time on record, renewable energy sources generated more power than coal. The findings suggest it is possible for the world to wean off polluting sources of power even as the demand for electricity skyrockets. The Saskatchewan Roughriders will host the Toronto Argonauts, and they are getting some reinforcements at the right time.
Harris over the middle, first down to the 25. Look who it is, Schaefer Baker back in the lineup.
Kean Schaefer-Baker making his first start Friday since week 1 when he was sidelined with a foot injury. With 3 games remaining on the season, it appears Saskatchewan's full complement on offense is going to return to the lineup, and all the changes do mean the team that has struggled to find their stride this year might finally do it.
Everybody plays their position a little bit different, so when everybody plays different and moves positions, it's going to be a little bit of time, but thankfully I've got plenty of reps with these guys. It's probably harder on, say, the quarterback, but I think there's no one that works harder than Trevor. Like when we're out here for 2.5 hours, however long we're out here, an hour and a half, I don't even know what it is, but he works the whole time. He gets throws with certain guys. Hey, we need to work this. We haven't got it. Hey, we missed that one. Let's do it again.
Harris surpassing the 4,000-yard passing mark for the 6th time in his career, with 16 different players making at least 1 grab. We get to our weather picture, and last night, of course, Kayleen, the October harvest, full moon, shining bright overnight. We talked about this at the Open. 9:48 last night was when it was the brightest. It's the first of 3 back-to-back supermoons that will happen this year. Now, a supermoon occurs when the moon reaches its nearest point to the planet, making it appear larger and fuller. The next one, called the Beaver Moon, is set for November 5th.
Okay.
Now we need clear skies, and that's on you.
Well, I will try to order those clear skies. At least I did yesterday, right? So
you did a good job.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can order up for November 5th. Tonight, though, we did see some cloud cover overnight. We are going to be seeing a little bit of clouds to start the day today, but they will be clearing into the afternoon for the most part. Down through the south, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of sunshine today. 2 degrees to start our day in Regina, so we're already starting warmer than what we saw yesterday. We do have some clouds, as I mentioned, and some southeast winds coming in at 17 17 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, similar winds, also seeing some of that cloud cover to wake us up, and 4 degrees to start the day. Now here's a look at that radar on satellite. Not a whole lot going on for Saskatchewan, at least. We do see some of that precipitation mainly in Alberta. Into Saskatchewan, though, we haven't seen a whole lot of that for the past couple days. As we continue on into this afternoon, again, we're seeing more of that cloud cover in the morning, but then you can see how by about 4 p.m. this afternoon, we're not seeing much cloud cover for Saskatoon or Regina. And continuing on into Wednesday, we do see some of that precipitation making its way in from Alberta into the northern part of Saskatchewan, but still not seeing a lot down towards the south. And we're not really expecting a whole lot of precipitation down towards the south until the later parts of the weekend. Current temperatures showing that Prince Albert is at -1, cooler through Nipawin this morning at -8 to start the day, -7 in Hudson Bay, -2 in Melfort, 2 degrees as we mentioned now for Regina, 0 degrees for Assiniboia, -3 to wake us up in Estevan this hour. Today's forecast looking beautiful, though. This is warmer than what we saw yesterday, a little bit more sunshine than what we saw yesterday as well, when we were seeing a bit more of the cloud cover. Moose Jaw up to 19 degrees today, Swift Current up to 20 degrees, Estevan 17 degrees, cooler through Yorkton though, only reaching that high of about 8 degrees, Prince Albert up to about 15 degrees. In Regina today, the high expected to be 15 degrees, 20 degrees tomorrow, so getting even warmer. Dropping right back down to 15 degrees on Thursday, and then back up to 18 degrees on Friday, Saturday up to 20 degrees, and then Sunday and Monday, that's where we see the temperatures really start to go down once again. Sunday is the day we're also expecting some more of that rain on the way, and we could also be seeing some higher wind gusts on Sunday as well. That's not going to be the ideal day to spend any time outside. 17 degrees is the high for Saskatoon today, 19 degrees tomorrow, 14 on Thursday, 18 on a Friday and Saturday, and again, some rain on the way for Sunday, dropping down to 6 degrees. Some more sunshine on the way for Monday, but the high is only going to be 5 degrees.
A Saskatchewan man who suffered a brain injury is getting into the world of 3D printing to help others. Carla Shinkaruk reports.
But you can build a variety of devices. The only thing that's restricting you is your imagination.
Nicholas Vogan spends a lot of time here in his home office. He makes products on his 3D printer, assistive devices to help people with disabilities.
And a device that would fit in that box, so I can create those wide range of assistive devices and like little gizmos and gadgets.
He was a computer science student at the U of S, but a car crash in 2020 left him with a brain injury and limited use on his right side. He didn't let that keep him down. This is one of the devices he makes. It helps people focus on their reading.
As it allows you to track down word by word and keep your place.
This is another one. It's currently being completed in his 3D printer. It helps people hold playing cards.
It makes them very visible and easy relatively to organize. I am looking for individuals that have needs for assistive devices, and I want to build them for them, but it's hard to connect with the individuals that have that need.
He's invested some of his own money, and he also got a grant for part of the cost of his printer from the group Makers Making Change, which assists people with disabilities.
It's all about connecting volunteer makers to people with disabilities who need low-cost assistive tech.
Makers Making Change has photos on their website of assistive devices that can be made by people like Vogan.
Things that could be 3D printed to help somebody open a bottle of water, joysticks for adaptive gaming, or computer mouses that you use with your mouse.
Vogan is also developing an adaptive keyboard which could be custom to any gaming device.
I love soldering, and also I can use my software expertise.
The products are relatively inexpensive and locally made at his Martensville home. For Vogan, this isn't about making money, but more about making his life purposeful. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Martensville.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, Chonburi, Thailand was the home to a special beauty contest on Monday. The beauty contest was for water buffaloes.
Oh, yes. Look at that beautiful beast.
So it was part of the region's Water Buffalo Racing Festival. It's meant to celebrate the beginning of the harvest season, as well as put a spotlight on the animals that were once vital to Thai agriculture. These days, tractors do most of that work on the farms, but the buffaloes are still respected for their strength and ability to carry heavy loads.
Look at that.
Look at that. What a beauty contest.
I wonder just how triggered Jeremy Dodge would be by this right about now.
Ridiculous, he'd say. Get the clothes off the buffalo.
Look how unhappy they are. He's currently in the happiest place on earth, if you're wondering where he is. Question of the day. The NHL season starts today, so we have got to go with the sports question.
Yeah, so we're asking you, who's your favorite team and why?
Yeah, for a lot of you, it's going to be Saskatchewan-based players, right? Maybe you have somebody you know. For me, it's geography. I was born in Brooks, Alberta, right next to the Calgary Flames.
For me, again, geography. I'm from Okotoks, Alberta, so I have to say the Calgary Flames. But my husband is a diehard Oilers fan. He's been trying to convert me over to being an Oiler fan for years. It's starting to work. I'm kind of split down the middle, so...
we might have to get a new weather person.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. We want to know, how did you become a fan of your favorite team? You text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Or you scan the QR code on your screen and it'll send Kaylee an email. You can tell her why the Oilers are a terrible, terrible team. You can take a live look out at the city of Saskatoon. Don't hammer your keys to your email. I'm a Flames fan. I'm supposed to hate the Oilers. We're back after this.
It is shaping up to be a mixed day on the markets. Gold coming up just shy of the $4,000 U.S. mark, announced at $39.77, but has since pulled back and is trading lower today. A strengthening U.S. dollar getting some of the credit as it gained for a second day. European stock markets having a flat day in the wake of the resignation of the French Prime Minister. The stock 600 is unchanged, and France's CAC 40 erased early losses as the French president, Emmanuel Macron, tries to salvage the government there. European truck makers like Volvo and Daimler taking hits in the wake of the news that Trump was imposing a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks. It's earnings season south of the border, and cost of living and weight loss pressures may be hitting food and beverage companies in the gut. Constellation reporting a 15% drop in revenue as people make decisions based on their wallet and their health. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's like, where's Waldo? Sometimes you look around, where would Mike Siona be? I think he found his way to a small community, yes?
Yeah, without question. We are out here in Rostern, Daryl, at the Youth Farm Corn Maze, and it is absolutely awesome. As you can see in here, we're in the Pumpkin Barn with Mark Wirtz, who's the executive director of all of this Youth Farm Corn Maze, and it is as fall as it gets in here and out here. Tell us what you've got dialed up this year.
Yeah, we've got lots of different activities for people to come out and do. It's not just the corn maze. It's like 3 to 4 hours of family adventure. We have a big slide that you can go down with a tube. We have animals like a petting zoo. We have lots of different food options. We have the jumping pillow. And of course, this beautiful barn where you can take some pictures, pick up some pick up some pumpkins. And also, like, we have fresh mini donuts. We have caramel apples. We have all types of things here in this pumpkin barn.
Now, one of my favorite of my family is that giant, the bouncy pillow thingy?
Jumping pillow, yeah. It's we can have about 15 people jumping at the same time on the jumping pillow, and it's it's the biggest one in Saskatchewan. So lots of kids come out there, and actually in summer when we use it, people even sleep on it overnight too. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Now, obviously, all these pumpkins, a lot of these are grown right here. They're Saskatchewan pumpkins. You have an opportunity to buy these things, and these white ones we were saying, they look so cool.
Yeah, this is a flat white one. We have big round ones, and these are grown right here on our yard, just like the raspberry jam that my wife put together from raspberries on their yard. So you get this farm atmosphere when you come out here.
You really do, and it's so cool. From the mini donuts, we haven't even gone to the obviously the maze, but we will. It's just a little bit too dark outside. So we thought we'd start here, set the mood for fall. Thanksgiving just around the corner here, and we'll throw it back to you and hopefully get lost in a field here right away.
If you have any meetings the rest of the day, do them via Teams right there in your gourd room.
You bet.
All right, it's time for a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to the bus right now, Regina is at 2 degrees, a little bit warmer in Saskatoon, though, at 4 degrees. 12 degrees by lunch in Regina and 12 degrees by lunch in Saskatoon as well. Winds starting to go up at that time, but still not as strong as what we saw yesterday. 15 degrees is the high in Regina. You can expect that by final bell today, and 17 degrees will be the high this afternoon in Saskatoon. As we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices. In Regina, the most common cost to fill up is $1.35.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $1.19.9. And in Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $1.39, but the lowest you might find is $1.24.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the straight price of canola at $545.92 per ton, and the futures price at $611.10 per ton. Amber durum wheat at $274.93 per ton, and red spring wheat at $274.93 per ton this morning. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.66 cents U.S. Coming up in about 20 minutes, angling expert Jason Matity joins for all your fall fishing tips.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl. Here's what's making news. The Premier is supporting a Saskatchewan Vice Chief speaking out against the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. 4th Vice Chief Craig McCallum wrote an open letter last week responding to allegations FSIN is facing after a federal audit questioned more than $34 million in spending over the 5-year period. In his letter, McCallum, who was elected to the executive last fall, said there needs to be change moving forward and that denial and deflection will not restore trust. McCallum went on to say that the audit needs to be taken seriously and this time should be used as a turning point.
I did appreciate Chief McCallum's comments to ensure everyone is moving forward in an honest and humble way, and I think that is in there are some words for all of us.
Mo says Ottawa is the FSIN's largest funding partner with the province, working with the FSIN on gaming agreements to keep casinos operational. Last week, FSIN leadership said that it has set a new standard for financial accountability and transparency, unmatched by any other organization in Canada. The final trial connected with the death of Megan Gallagher has begun more than 5 years after she was reported missing. 47-year-old Roderick Sutherland is charged with manslaughter in the case, entering a not guilty plea Monday. Gallagher was 30 years old when she went missing in September 2020. Her remains were found 2 years later near St. Louis in the South Saskatchewan River. Now, the trial is opened with jury selection. More than 100 people were called before a final panel of 12 was chosen. Sutherland is the last of 9 people charged in connection with Gallagher's death. The trial is expected to last 2 weeks. A man has died following a crash near Lanigan. RCMP say an SUV and a tractor-trailer collided at the intersection of Highway 16 and Highway 20 on Friday night. The passenger of the SUV died at the scene, identified as a man from another country. The driver and 2 other passengers in the SUV were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The semi-driver was not injured. In international news, in Egypt today, Israel and Hamas expected to resume indirect talks aiming at possibly reaching a ceasefire in Gaza. Sources close to the negotiations say there was progress made yesterday. The first phase of the U.S. proposed plan would establish a ceasefire and see hostages released in exchange for Palestinian detainees. Explosions rang out in Gaza this morning. According to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, more than 67,000 people have been killed by Israel's military campaign in response to the Hamas attacks over the past 2 years. Blockades and continued strikes have been fueling the humanitarian crisis in that territory. And commemorations are taking place this morning, marking 2 years since the October 7th attacks. The site of Nova Music Festival, people are reflecting on the horror that unfolded 2 years ago when Hamas launched a series of surprise attacks in southern Israel. Memorials today are remembering the victims of the attacks. 1,200 people were killed by Hamas and 251 people taken hostage. Parents in Alberta are juggling work and childcare for a second straight day as teachers continue to strike.
Kind of rearrange my shifts around, and logistics are tough.
I've been definitely getting a lot of calls and texts, just parents asking me to help babysit their kids because they don't have childcare to help.
51,000 members of the Alberta Teachers Association are on strike. This is the largest labor walkout the province has ever seen. That means more than 740,000 students across 2,500 schools do not have a classroom to go to today. Despite the inconvenience, many families are supporting the teachers. Some students in southern Alberta held a rally showing their support. The teachers are asking for better wages, more supports, and smaller classrooms. There's a new book out today about the life and legacy of John Candy. The new biography delves into the private battles John Candy faced away from the cameras. Toronto author Paul Myers wrote the book, saying he didn't set out to dig up dirt. He wanted to know more about the creative drive that led Candy's performances. The book, John Candy, A Life in Comedy, includes interviews with many of John Candy's famous friends, including Tom Hanks, Dan Aykroyd, Catherine O'Hara, and Dave Thomas. A uniquely Utah twist on soda that took the United States by storm has bubbled its way into Saskatchewan. It's known as dirty soda. Cream and syrups are added to drinks like Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, and more. The drinks are spearheaded by a Mormon community due to their religious restriction on alcohol and caffeine. Growing in popularity elsewhere, thanks in large part to reality shows like The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, including here in Saskatchewan.
Yes, it's definitely a sweet treat. Like, you can curate to what flavors you want in it, and it's a little bit something special, a lighter snack than ice cream.
You can find dirty soda all over the province, from Regina to Moosomin, Saskatoon, and elsewhere. A National Historic Bird Sanctuary site is home to the province of Saskatchewan's, marking the oldest sanctuary in North America. Last Mountain Lake Migratory Bird Sanctuary, located 165 kilometers southeast of Saskatoon, or not too far from where we are here in Regina, is a place where thousands of birds pass through, using the space for various reasons, including migration. Being one of the steps on their journey to breed in the Arctic, the historic site sees millions of birds and various species every year. Canadian Wildlife Service says Saskatchewan is the heart of the central flyaway for birds who are traveling as far as 15,000 kilometers.
There's migration, which is really important, and the birds will go up the continent of North America from where they spend their winter, which can be in Texas, in Minnesota. It could be all the way down to South America, Argentina. They spend their winters there, and then they hopscotch up the continent in areas that have decent habitat and are safe for them.
The site is the first bird sanctuary established in North America, with Canada's first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, signing the cabinet documents back in 1887. Toronto Blue Jays fans are riding high after the first two dramatic wins over the New York Yankees. And that series now shifts south of the border to the Bronx, and the team needs just one more win if they want to move on. Allison Hurst on the playoff run.
Moment in Blue Jays franchise history. Caught in the stands by Brendan Craig, barehanded, overhead, in the second deck.
Instincts took over, and I played ball my whole life, so all those years of practicing and playing, they finally paid off.
Craig and his wife bought their tickets on Facebook Marketplace to catch the game.
Funny enough, the person who I bought the tickets off, his pitch to sell them was good spot for a Vladdy bomb.
The seats lived up to the promise, made sweeter by it also being the first Grand Slam in postseason franchise history. But the history-making didn't stop there.
6 Ks through 2 2/3.
Rookie pitcher Trey Yesavage took the mound in his first ever postseason start.
He's built for this game.
That's awesome.
Setting a franchise record 11 strikeouts in a no-hit postseason game, and he did it in just 5 innings.
What a nice young man. That very pleased the way he's handling the situation.
Savage felt the support at the mound.
The energy and the passion that this fan base has, and all 44,000 people that were here tonight, is special.
With the way the entire team played this weekend,
Now Varsho drills one.
fans are feeling pretty confident heading to the Bronx.
3-0 and keep going up to the World Series.
The team is so good this year. I think they're gonna go just up till they win.
Optimistic but not cocky. So I think we can get this series, but it's one game at a time.
Craig will be watching, Grand Slam ball in hand, but what he's going to do with it,
I don't really know. Don't have a plan yet. If they're interested in it, I'd be happy to talk with them and get it back because it's a pretty historic ball.
in an historic series that's not over yet. Allison Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Selling it. You know he's selling it, right? Edmonton Oilers fans breathing a sigh of relief this morning after superstar Connor McDavid signed a long-awaited contract extension.
Connor's, it's obvious what he wants, which is he wants to win, and his actions have shown that. I think that's a pretty inspiring thing for a player to see.
The Oilers captain has signed a 2-year agreement worth $25 million U.S. Puck drops on the NHL season tonight. The Oilers play the rival Calgary Flames, my Calgary Flames, tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Oh, boy, that's going to be a late night. Let's get to the weather forecast. It's fall, of course, Kayleen, which means we start to get all those fun fall pictures of the leaves and changing colors. And this is Susie, sent in by her mom, Carlene.
What a beautiful photo. And that's what I loved to do as a child. I would find the crunchiest leaves that I could and roll all over in them. Now I look at it and I think, what bugs are in there? I wish I could get my youthfulness back so I could go and jump in some leaves.
Okay, come on, you cynic. Give us the forecast and then our code word today.
All right, well, today is a great day to decide to go outside and crunch some of those leaves because we're going to be seeing a whole lot of sunshine today. Those leaves have just gotten to that nice crispy point. 2 degrees right now to wake us up in Regina. This morning view is brought to you by Recycle My Electronics. And 2 degrees, as I said, with some cloud cover. Southeast winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. 4 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon. Again, seeing that cloud cover, but it is going to be clearing as we make our way later on into the afternoon hours. The radar and satellite not showing a whole lot for Saskatchewan. A few little pieces of precipitation that made its way into the province yesterday, but very, very small amounts. Mainly, we were seeing that precipitation over in Alberta yesterday. As we look forward into the rest of the day, we are seeing just a little bit of that cloud cover, but it's mainly concentrating way up north. The clouds that we're seeing in the central zones, we're seeing them push off pretty early this afternoon, making way for just a whole lot of sunshine, basically everywhere from Saskatoon and south from there. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we are seeing a bit more of that rain making its way into the area way up north, but then that is going to be pushing off by Wednesday afternoon. And then we're not really talking about any more precipitation until later on the weekend. Current temperatures showing nipah winds still at that -8 degree mark, so definitely a cool start to the day there. 3 degrees in Spirit Woods, so conditions improved slightly there. Still seeing some of those minus temperatures down towards the south, Estevan included, so sitting at -3, -4 in Weyburn, and -7 in Yorkton. Today's forecast showing some very nice temperatures, 20 degrees for Swift Current, 20 degrees for the Battlefords today. Not quite cracking into those 20-degree temperatures down in the southeast, rather, but Estevan still going to be seeing that nice high above the average. That is 17 degrees for Weyburn as well. Cooler through Yorkton, though, reaching that high of 8 degrees. Now, today is a nice day in Regina with that sunshine up to 15 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be even nicer. 20 degrees tomorrow with that sunshine. 15 degrees, though, on Thursday, so we are getting right back down before getting up on Friday and Saturday. 18 degrees on Friday, 20 degrees again on Saturday. And then Sunday is when the cooler temperatures really start to set in, and we are expecting some rain to be falling on that day in many places across Saskatchewan. Saskatoon is included in that. And as you can see, we are still seeing some very nice temperatures up until Sunday, and then they drop down to about 6 degrees in Saskatoon on Sunday, 5 degrees on Monday, and winds also going up later in the weekend. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bright. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday in Fort. We head to Jacksonville. Chiefs taking on the Jaguars. Patrick Mahomes with second and goal here. A chance to break a 14-14 tie, but he's picked off at the 1-yard line by Devin Lloyd. Mahomes tries to tackle him, but misses. And from there, Lloyd turns upfield. Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton chasing him down, but running out of gas. And he gets into the end zone for the pick six, a 99-yard interception return to give the Jags the lead and would eventually win by 3. His 4th pick of the year, which leads the NFL. Lloyd has your must-see moment from Monday. And tonight on TSN, we have the FIFA Under-20 World Cup round of 16. Chile taking on Mexico. Kickoff at 5:30 Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Chill of fall is settling in, but that doesn't mean it's time to pack up the open water fishing gear and throw it in the corner for the year. In fact, the fall opens up an opportunity for shore anglers to take big advantage of some big fish. Jason Manatee is with us this morning. Jason, what do we need to know?
Well, what you need to know is that you can still catch fish in the boat this time of year. But we talked about it last time with those wonderful bait fish called the Ciscos, those silvery things. They're coming into spawn in super shallow water right now. And guess who's coming in, Daryl, right on their tails? Big walleyes and big pike. And that's why you can take super advantage at this time of year.
So you got
from
some
shore
baits in front of us.
Yeah, so my all-time favorites, this is the Rapala Husky Jerk. The hooks are very sticky on it and it rattles. And then we've got a jointed one. That's a perch color as well. So this one more is representative of the Cisco. I'm going to just point it at the camera a little bit. And this one obviously looks like a perch, and it's a jointed one. And the difference is you can fish this one a little quicker, but the jointed one, it can just have a slow wobble like this. And sometimes one works better than the other, but the wobble works really good in colder weather because it still has enough action imparted that it'll drive those fish crazy.
They're close to shore because they want to eat?
Absolutely. Those Ciscos are coming into like water this deep, right? So super close
Fish
to shore.
in a barrel, baby.
Yeah, and it can be at certain times. And there they are right there, the Ciscos coming in. And there's a Jeff, the other half of getfishing.ca, reeling in a giant pike on one of those lures that we were talking about right now, the Rapala series. And he's in his chest waders. He's just offshore. The nice thing is if you can add some chest waders, you can get a little bit more depth, you know, because obviously now you're going to be in about, 3 feet of water or a meter, and now you can throw it into a little bit deeper in case they slide off that 2-3 feet into that 10 feet or so.
And that's why we don't need a boat.
Absolutely. And you want to make sure that the weather's a little colder, a nice full moon behind him with this big walleye he's got on there. And you want to make sure you got enough clothes and those neoprene chest waders so you keep the heat in on your legs and your chest because that water's getting pretty cold now.
You got all this great video of you catching fish. I want to know how much video you have of you not catching fish.
Well,
you make it look so easy.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because I think you would agree. Nobody wants to see us not catching fish, right? But we certainly talk about you got to work at it, you know, and sometimes we'll say this is the fish we caught today or the 2 fish we caught today, right? But it's all about just putting in the time and enjoying the experience.
You mentioned tip waders. You've got the lures. What else might I need?
I guess the biggest thing is we do have some floating coats as well. And if you don't, wear that pullover life jacket or life vest that you do wear in the summertime as well. It's just something that'll give you some additional flotation that in case you do have a slip or whatever on the rocks, it'll help support you. And the nice thing is you're close enough to shore, hopefully you can get out if you do get chilled.
You never want to give away your secret fishing spots. spots. I get that. But where should people go if they're just starting out or want to have some success?
The beauty is that with this huge province, current is king. So particularly up in Saskatoon, the Battlefords, PA, you're looking for those nice riffles along the river, particularly where the current will reverse direction. So the eddy areas is where you want to try in the river systems in the north and the south Saskatchewan there. Diefenbaker, below the dam is another great place.
See, we're narrowing it down. We're going to find your spots eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. and in the Qu'Appelle Lakes, you know, wind current plays a big factor too. Those points where the wind's sweeping them up.
And you can get all those tips at getfishing.ca. Jay, thanks.
Thank you.
It's Brandon down at South Coast Sandals, Sexy Sandals as they call it, and we want you down here with a Pure Country Passports code words that we've got going, so make sure you listen to us. Plus, we also have the useless question of the day coming up, and I'll give it to you right now for a chance to go to the Thunder game. Regina Thunder is playing this Sunday at Live Oak Field. Here it is. Text me at 54321. 60% of kids claim they've never done this before, ever. What do you think? Text us 54321 and we can get you there with the useless question of the day. Keep listening and watch all our posts and we can get you here to Sandals with me.
A day without pain is like a day without sunshine.
Dwayne Johnson is used to smash hits at the box office, but his latest film, The Smashing Machine, marks the lowest box office debut of his career, taking in just $6 million over the weekend. On Instagram Monday, the actor addressed the film's disappointing box office performance and shared his appreciation for those who went to see it in theaters. Truth is, this film has changed my life, he wrote. Rush is returning to the road. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famers have announced dates for their 50-something tour, which will mark their first trek in 10 years and their first since the 2020 death of their drummer and lyricist Neil Peart. The tour will kick off next summer and hit 7 cities in North America. Tickets go on sale October 17th. Cyndi Lauper is heading to Las Vegas. The singer wrapped her Girls Just Wanna Have Fun farewell tour back in August, but she'll be saying hello to a new residency in 2026 with 5 dates lined up at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. And The View co-host Joy Behar is 83 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles. Thanks.
Okay, so there's this trend going on social media right now. Tell me if you've seen it. It's where you pretend to faint and just see what your dog does.
Oh, okay.
This person tried this out. Let's just assume they're just pecking for vitals.
This is not just any pet owner, Daryl. This is Knuckle Bump Farms.
Is it?
They are viral on social media with her emus, and they all have names and personalities.
Okay.
Go follow Knuckle Bump Farms.
Enigmatic emus. Of course you would know who that is.
I'm like, I see it come up, and I'm like, oh no, that's Knuckle Bump Farms.
The betrayal. Okay, speaking of trends, some kids today are ditching the slang for something more proper.
Instead of saying, that's cool, bro, he said, wow, that is very delightful.
That's premium English, so he was very proper.
Yeah, it was like British with an American accent.
Apparently that's premium English, if you're keeping track at home. Wow, that is very terrifically nice.
I love what the younger generation is doing because trends always come back. So proper English is coming back in style.
Oh, do you mean we'll get full words?
Oh,
I love full words.
What a treat.
Like, we will be right back after this. It's Tuesday, October 7th.
I'm going to ask about tariffs because a lot of companies from Canada are moving into the United States, you know.
Prime Minister Mark Carney expected to bring up tariff relief during his visit to the White House today, but it remains to be seen if any concessions will be made.
it's important to me that we are getting people at the lowest end so that they can start to move through the housing continuum as they get those support services going through.
City of Saskatoon launching a 5-year strategy to address homelessness and improve housing affordability.
Funny enough, the person who I bought the tickets off, his pitch to sell them was good spot for a Vladdy bomb.
Toronto Blue Jays fans showing off a piece of history after catching Vladdy's grand slam ball. You might want to call that a deadly tornado. His 4 runs right out of there. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Thank you for choosing to wake up with us on Your Morning Saskatchewan.
People say that all the time, don't they? That's a deadly tornado, home run.
That's what I call. I don't know much about baseball, but that's what I call a home run, deadly tornado.
Not at all an error on my behalf. It is my sister's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday. What's her name?
Kelly.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
She's not watching, but I know my dad is, and he's going to text me if I don't mention it today, so there we go. We've got a cold day yesterday. My goodness. Yeah,
cold today with the winds. The wind's not as strong today, and a nice, pleasant, warm day today.
Pleasant, warm.
Yes.
See how that proper English, just like our morning sidebar this morning. Let's get to news. Prime Minister Mark Carney is set to meet face-to-face with the U.S. President at the White House today.
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
Carney is expected to push Trump for some relief on punishing tariffs on Canadian steel, and there's a new levy for leaders to talk about. Trump posting on social media the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on light and medium-duty trucks. The Prime Minister's office says Energy Minister Timmy Hodgson will be part of today's delegation, which suggests natural resources may be a part of it. As we said, medium and heavy-duty trucks now going to be taxed at 25%.
Could be fire trucks, could be busts. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
U.S. President Donald Trump made the announcement with a November 1st start date. Last month, President Trump said heavy trucks imports would be facing new duties on national security grounds, saying the new tariffs were to protect manufacturers from unfair outside competition. Mexico, by the way, is the largest exporter of medium and light-duty trucks to the U.S. Federal budgets will now be released in the fall instead of the spring.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
That will start with the upcoming November 4th budget. The economic and fiscal updates will now come in the spring, closer to the start of the fiscal year on April 1st. The budget is also set to introduce a separation between operating and capital spending. Ottawa says the change is aimed at reviving stalled business investment and focus on how federal dollars contribute to long-term economic resilience. The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimates that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. The government plans to balance the operational budget in 3 years. Canada's premiers are also watching closely as Carney visits with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith today. Smith calling on the Prime Minister to be brave when it comes to making policies she says could make Canada an energy superpower.
And I think it's the Prime Minister's job to show some courage in showing leadership on this. We're not going to be a G7 leader, and we're not going to be an energy superpower without the federal government making some decisions to build things again. So I would love to have a partner in Premier Legault in that as well, but I think it's important that the Prime Minister send a clear direction that Canada's open for business again.
Danielle Smith says Carney needs to send a signal that Canada is open for business. Last week, Smith announced Alberta's proposal for a West Coast pipeline project. She says she's continuing to defend as a crucial nation-building project. And earlier today, Smith was in Quebec meeting with the Chamber of Commerce on metropolitan Montreal about free trade. Smith is encouraging Quebec to take advantage of its resources and develop its own natural gas extraction industry so it can wean itself off of equalization payments. It's a common sight for ring road drivers, people out by Moose Jaw. If you're everywhere in the province near a photo radar booth, Saskatchewan is not looking to get rid of those, even though Doug Ford in Ontario has started a conversation on that topic. Wayne Mantika reports.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe doesn't agree with Ontario's Doug Ford when it comes to photo radar.
What I did hear that Premier Ford was sounding off on photo radar in Toronto and Ontario.
Last month, Ontario Premier Ford called photo speed enforcement a cash grab and is planning legislation that would ban its use.
It's out of control right now, and things have changed.
Ford believes there are ways to reduce speed that does not involve tickets.
If you have a speed bump, you aren't zipping by at all. Or if you have a roundabout, you aren't zipping by. And the warning with the flashing signs coming at you, you know to slow down.
This past weekend, a group of Ontario parents rallied to save photo speed enforcement. Now, several Ontario mayors are proposing a compromise that would restrict where the cameras can be located.
Consider allowing the speed cameras to continue in school zones.
Earlier this year, Alberta restricted the cameras to school and construction zones. Saskatchewan's Scott Moe says his government has not considered similar changes.
But I think it has proved to be effective in keeping speeds at a minimum, in particular in school zones. And that's would be the highest priority space. And so we haven't had any of those discussions here.
The Premier suggests that changes to photo speed enforcement is not a priority. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, two prominent Freedom Convoy leaders, expected to learn their sentences today, nearly 4 years after the protest movement blockaded downtown Ottawa. Leach, seen here in 2022, both found guilty of mischief in April, with Barber also convicted of counseling others to commit mischief. The Crown is seeking 7 years for Leach, 8 years for Barber, citing widespread impact on Ottawa residents. The City of Saskatoon launching a 5-year strategy to address homelessness and improve housing affordability. That plan is called the Housing Saskatoon Plan, focuses on diversifying housing, boosting affordable supply, and ensuring fair access to housing. The city says about 11,000 households face housing insecurity, including low-income families, seniors, and Indigenous residents.
It's important to me that we are getting people at the lowest end so that they can start to move through the housing continuum as they get those support services going through.
The strategy will be presented at 2 city committee meetings on Wednesday. Saskatchewan Roughriders getting set to host the Toronto Argonauts in their lights-out game this weekend at Mosaic Stadium.
Harris over the middle. First down to the 25. Look who it is. Schaefer Baker back in the lineup.
The team is happy to get receiver Keon Schaefer-Baker back in the lineup. It appears the team finally is getting healthy at that position.
Everybody plays their position a little bit different, so when everybody plays different and moves positions, it's going to be a little bit of time, but thankfully I've got plenty of reps with these guys.
It's probably harder on, say, the quarterback, but I think there's no one that works harder than Trevor. Like when we're out here for 2.5 hours, however long we're out here, an hour and a half, I don't even know what it is, but he works the whole time. He gets throws with certain guys. Hey, we need to work this. We haven't got it. Hey, we missed that one. Let's do it again.
Harris surpassed the 4,000-yard passing mark for the 6th time in his career. 16 different players had to make a catch to make that possible. Let's get to our weather picture. Kaylee and Sawatsky. This one is Kevin. He's out biking in Capel Valley, south of Katepwa Lake.
Fields of gold. Looks beautiful.
Wonderful stuff. You can send those pictures in anytime at Your Morning Saskatchewan at ctv.ca. Important note, don't send it to our old email address. We won't get it.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
You know what else is beautiful, though, like that photo, Daryl, is this sunrise happening behind me here. This morning view is brought to you by Recycle My Electronics, where you can find a drop-off location near you. 2 degrees to wake us up in Regina. Those southeast winds have not budged yet, coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. We are seeing a nice mix of sun and cloud to start the day, although the morning view is looking rather cloudy. In Saskatoon, again, more of the same, seeing that cloud cover to start the day. 4 degrees and those southeast winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. Now, those clouds are likely going to be pushing off later into the afternoon, so they're not going to be sticking around all day. We are going to be seeing a lot of sunshine today. The radar and satellite not showing a whole lot for Saskatchewan. We do see some more of that precipitation falling in the provinces beside us, so you can see that in Alberta. You can also see that late last night over in Manitoba. Saskatchewan, though, not really seeing it until the weekend for for parts of the central and the south. We are going to be seeing some more of that rain making its way into the north part of the province tomorrow morning. This is at about 5 a.m. You can see that system on your screen there, way up north with the heavier amounts of cloud cover. And then that system will be mostly pushing off by the late afternoon hours. Current temperatures showing that Nipawin is just getting colder so far this morning. They were just at -8. Now they're at -9. 0 degrees in Melfort, though, -7 in Hudson Bay, and 3 degrees in Spiritwood. -4 to wake us up in Weyburn, -3 in Estevan, and -7 in Yorkton. So many places still into those negatives to start the day. Grab a jacket on your way out the door. Today's forecast, though, looking great. I did mention a whole lot of sunshine on the way. This is mainly going to be in the later parts of the afternoon when most of those clouds do push off. Weyburn up to 17 degrees today. Moose Jaw up to 19 degrees. Battlefords up to 20 degrees. And Prince Albert up to 15 degrees. But Prince Albert could still be seeing that cloud cover into the late afternoon. 15 degrees is the high for Regina today. Getting even warmer tomorrow. 20 degrees. 15 degrees on Thursday. 18 on Friday. And 20 degrees on Saturday. So this week looking beautiful. It's next week that we start to see things go down in terms of that temperature. Precipitation is going to be entering the picture, and winds are also going to be increasing on Sunday for Regina and Saskatoon, likely gusting up to about 50 to 55 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast in Saskatoon. 17 degrees today, 19 for your day tomorrow, 14 degrees on Thursday, 18 for both Friday and Saturday, and then again temperatures dropping on Sunday down to about 6 degrees with some light rain. Take a look at our rural forecast. We're seeing some great temperatures today. 17 degrees for Watrous with that mix of sun and cloud. Outlook up to 21 degrees, but cooler through Wynyard this afternoon. 8 degrees with that sunshine down towards the south. We're seeing a lot of temperatures into those high teens. Rockland up to 18 degrees, Coronach up to 19 degrees, and Carlisle up to 13 degrees. A lot of these areas seeing more of that cloud cover in the morning, and that will be pushing off into the late afternoon. Now let's take a look at Southie, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. The high this afternoon about 15 degrees. Winds going to be a little bit lower than what we saw yesterday. Today they'll be coming in between 20 to 30 kilometers per hour.
Well, let's look high and low and find Mike Siona. Where could he be? He's in a field of dreams.
Yes, if you build it, they will come, Daryl. That's exactly what they've done here at the Youth Farm Corn Maze. I'm joined by Mark Wirtz yet again. And Mark, what I did is not actually allowed. You got to stay on the path, right?
Yeah, we call these the humanity paths. Is people going off the path, getting off the beaten path. And yeah, if you would have seen the sign, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. I did want to clarify that, but I thought it was kind of picturesque with the beautiful Saskatchewan sunrise behind us there.
Perfect opportunity.
This is an impressive of a corn maze as you've had here in the 17 years that you guys been doing this.
Yeah, it's a good height. We got some 8 feet maze, 9 feet maze, so people just cannot see over. So it's great. It's much better than drought years. We really appreciate the weather that we've had, both in the spring to grow this, but now in the fall. It's been beautiful. People have enjoyed that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now let's talk about the maze here, because you've got a theme here celebrating 500 years.
Yeah, 500 years of Anabaptism. It's our heritage is Mennonites. It's been since 1941 we have owned this yard, and we also want to just celebrate the 500 years of since the Radical Reformation, which happened, I guess, 500 years ago.
The timelines check out. Let's talk about the actual mazes. There's 2 here. How big are they, and how long is it going to take us to get through them?
Yeah, it's about the first maze is for families. It's you go to that one. It's 2 acres. If you think you can do that one well, you go to the big maze, and that takes it can take up to an hour if you want to get through it the right way.
Perfect. Yeah, and doing it the right way means staying on the paths. There's all sorts of other stuff going on out here as well, as we have been talking about this morning, and we'll continue to talk about here. If we can find our way out of this maze, that is.
You got to find your way out of there before time runs up. I did tell you another joke, but I thought it might be corny.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Best not to.
It is shaping up to be a mixed day on the markets. Gold coming up just shy of the $4,000 U.S. mark, announced at $39.77, but has since pulled back and is trading lower today. A strengthening U.S. dollar getting some of the credit as it gained for a second day. European stock markets having a flat day in the wake of the resignation of the French Prime Minister. The stock 600 is unchanged, and France's CAC 40 erased early losses as the French president, Emmanuel Macron, tries to salvage the government there. European truck makers like Volvo and Daimler taking hits in the wake of the news that Trump was imposing a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks. It's earnings season south of the border, and cost of living and weight loss pressures may be hitting food and beverage companies in the gut. Constellation reporting a 15% drop in revenue as people make decisions based on their wallet and their health. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Trending this morning, but before we get to that, how much lipstick do you have on that mug?
Okay, well, I decided to go with a bold lip today. I don't know if the camera can see that.
Murdered the mug.
Listen, it's a pop of color. It's for the life of a showgirl era.
Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, hey, listen, speaking of music, Rush fans, how is it going to feel when you hear this live? Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson are bringing their band back to life, returning to the stage this summer, coming up for Parts, Rush's first tour since Neil Peart's death in 2020. The longtime bandmates announcing a 12-date tour, bringing them to 7 cities across North America. The 50-something tour kicks off in Inglewood, California, June 7th, wraps up in Cleveland, the lone Canadian date, because when you talk Canada to bands, it's only Montreal or Toronto. It's going to be Scotiabank Arena, that's in Toronto, August 7th and 9th.
All right, are you going to go to that? Or?
I will not be rushing to go see Rush, but I know there's a lot of people out there that are very excited about this.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers. Maybe that should have been our question today. What band do you want to see get back to? We could use that tomorrow.
Oh, get the band back together. Oh, yeah. Okay. I have an answer immediately in my head. I'll share it. I'll share it tomorrow.
Save that for tomorrow. Question of the day.
Yeah, today's question of the day, we're asking you about NHL season, because as we know, that starts today. So who's your favorite team and why? We have Howard on our big board saying Montreal Canadiens, as Ken Dryden is my favorite goalie. Howard, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. You're about to get a little bit of hate in the next slide here, but it's okay. It's okay. Brenda's saying, I grew up watching the Montreal Canadiens with my grandpa. Now, for our X page answer that says Boston Bruins, Phil Esposito was my favorite player, and they were the big bad Bruins. Plus, in the 70s, Leafs and the Habs fans were annoying then, like they are now.
Oh, George coming in hot on our X line.
Yes. So we want to hear you, and you can get a little competitive. That's okay. Yeah, get a little competitive. You can text us your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can also scan the QR code on your screen. Let us know, who's your favorite NHL team? Who are you cheering for this season and why?
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday in Fort. We head to Jacksonville. Chiefs taking on the Jaguars. Patrick Mahomes with second and goal here. A chance to break a 14-14 tie, but he's picked off at the 1-yard line by Devin Lloyd. Mahomes tries to tackle him, but misses. And from there, Lloyd turns upfield. Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton chasing him down, but running out of gas. And he gets into the end zone for the pick six. A 99-yard interception return to give the Jags the lead and would eventually win by 3. His 4th pick of the year, which leads the NFL. Lloyd has your must-see moment from Monday. And tonight on TSN, we have the FIFA Under-20 World Cup round of 16. Chile taking on Mexico. Kickoff at 5:30 Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Time for your Tuesday morning mystery today, Kayleen. It is a thing. Whiteboard's ready. Clue number 1 is here. In Arizona, it's against the law for donkeys to sleep in them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In France and England during the 17th century, they were considered a symbol of wealth, often made of precious metals like copper or brass. So donkeys can't sleep in it. Precious metal luxury.
Okay.
Clue number 3, the physics of displacement were discovered by Archimedes while he was soaking. Okay, clue number 3 always gives it away.
Okay, hold on. I have to erase my answers. I had a guess from...
Did you draw a tornado?
No, I was going to guess a tent until I saw the third clue.
I won't show mine until... Okay, bathtub. The answer is bathtub. It is National Bathtub Day. Great day for you to stay inside and have a soak. That was today's morning mystery.
I'm not stubborn.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Fine, you're not.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This week, we are celebrating 25 years since the Gilmore Girls first hit our TV screens.
And I missed my bus! Get up!
Sweetie, Mommy can't get up right now. Mommy's been sleeping at a right angle all night.
I'm gonna miss the test.
No. No, you're not. I'll get the keys. We'll go right now.
The coming-of-age drama with Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham was all about the dialogue, with scripts about 20 pages longer than other shows of its era.
Hi, Dad.
Lorelai, your daughter's tall.
Oh, I know. It's freakish. We're thinking of having her studied at MIT.
Gilmore Girls was not a huge hit at the time, but its fan base was passionate and has kept growing over the past quarter century.
I seriously don't know what got into him.
I do.
What?
He has a thing for you.
No, he doesn't. It's just a game to him or something.
He has a thing for you.
He does nothing but insult me and make me miserable.
He has a thing for you.
I don't know how I feel about this whole situation.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Having
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out in Regina right now, still sitting at 2 degrees, a bit chilly. Grab a jacket on your way out the door. 4 degrees in Saskatoon. Winds not as strong right now as what they're going to be later, but they're still not going to be as strong as what we saw yesterday. 12 degrees for both cities by the noon hour. 15 degrees by final bell for Regina. That is our expected daytime high, and a little bit warmer over in Saskatoon. 17 degrees with winds in both cities coming in up to about 30 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up, $135.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $119.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $139, but you might find the lowest at $124.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is at $545.92 per ton, and the futures price at $611.10 per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $274.93 per ton, and red spring wheat at $239.26 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading down at 71.66 cents U.S. After the break, the Jays are looking to sweep the Yankees in Game 3 tonight. What to expect ahead of the first pitch in the Bronx.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. My name is Daryl. It is 7:30, and these are the headlines you need for this part of the hour. Premier Scott Moe is supporting a Saskatchewan Vice Chief speaking out against the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. 4th Vice Chief Craig McCallum wrote this open letter last week responding to the allegations FSIN is facing after a federal audit questioned more than $34 million in spending over a 5-year period. In his letter, McCallum, who is elected to the executive as of last fall, said there needs to be change moving forward and that denial and deflection will not restore trust. McCallum went on to say the audit needs to be taken seriously and this should be a turning point.
I did appreciate Chief McCallum's comments to ensure everyone is moving forward in an honest and humble way, and I think that is a, in there are some words for all of us.
Premier says Ottawa is the FSIN's largest funding partner, with the province working with the FSIN on gaming agreements to keep casinos operational. Last week, FSIN leadership said it has set a new standard for financial accountability and transparency unmatched by any other organization in Canada. We are learning new details into the murder of a Saskatoon woman. The information had been under a publication ban until the start of the trial of the last of the 9 people charged in her death. Laura Woodward reports.
The disturbing details of Megan Gallagher's death can now be reported years after they were protected by a publication ban. According to an agreed statement of facts, Gallagher was killed in a garage on Weldon Avenue sometime between September 20th and September 21st, 2020. 9 people have been charged in connection with Gallagher's death. 47-year-old Roderick Sutherland is the last to stand trial. With all other cases now concluded, details of the case can be made public. The Crown says gang members approached Sutherland about using his garage to tie Gallagher to a chair and question her. Court heard Gallagher's body was placed in a truck and thrown over a bridge into the South Saskatchewan River. Sutherland has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains. Gallagher was 30 years old when she was reported missing. This convenience store surveillance footage shows one of the last times she was seen. Her remains were found 2 years later in the river near St. Louis. Sutherland's jury trial is expected to last 2 weeks, with Justice John Morrell presiding. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Thank you, Laura. We'll continue to follow that. In the meantime, parents in Alberta juggling work and childcare for a second day as the teachers' strike in that province continues.
Kind of rearrange my shifts around, and logistics are tough.
I've been definitely getting a lot of calls and texts, just parents asking me to help babysit their kids because they don't have childcare to help.
51,000 members of the Alberta Teachers Association are on strike. This is the largest labor walkout the province has ever seen. It means more than 740,000 students across 2,500 schools do not have a classroom to go to today. Despite the inconvenience, many families are supporting the teachers. Some students in southern Alberta held a rally showing their support. The teachers are asking for better wages, more supports, and smaller class sizes. An incredible story now of volunteers coming together to save a life after a helicopter crashed on a California highway.
Truck on scene for extrication tools, just a fire engine. So that captain quickly sequestered the help of multiple civilians to come over and lift this helicopter off of that victim.
The chopper was an Air Medical Services helicopter. It crashed on Highway 50 in Sacramento. 3 people were on board the helicopter: the pilot, a nurse, and a doctor. They were all critically injured. And as you heard, one of the victims was trapped under the wreckage and freed by fire crews and civilians who managed to lift it up. Fire officials say it's shocking that no one on the highway was injured as the chopper crashed into the center of a busy road. The cause of the crash still under investigation. A Saskatchewan man who suffered a brain injury as a result of a car crash is getting into the world of 3D printing in the hopes of creating things that can help others. Nicholas here started making adaptive technology with some creations as simple as helping people hold cards with a special tiered device. Some of the cost was covered by him personally, but recently he's received some grants from Makers Making Change. It's an organization which helps people with disabilities by helping them get adaptive devices. Ongoing Fields creations are a step towards accessibility.
I've always been interested in technology, and this is perfect because it allows me to use both my, I love soldering and setting up like that, and it also I can use my software expertise like the Raspberry Pi.
The Makers Making Change website lists all the devices created by him. 3 scientists are being honored with the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics. John Clark, Michael DeVore, and John Martinez were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for breakthrough work in quantum mechanics. The breakthroughs connect complex science with real-world applications. Their research helped pave the way for quantum computers and other technologies. They'll share the prize money worth 1.2 million Canadian dollars. The Nobel Committee says the work brings quantum science closer to everyday life. Edmonton Oilers have signed their superstar.
When you see Connor's, it's obvious what he wants, which is he wants to win, and his actions have shown that. I think that's a pretty inspiring thing for a player to see.
The Oilers signing captain Connor McDavid to a 2-year deal worth $25 million US, but hockey analysts say he could have earned a lot more. The Toronto Blue Jays will try to sweep the New York Yankees aside tonight and advance to the ALCS.
3-0 and keep going up to the World Series.
The team is so good this year. I think they're gonna go just up till they win.
Optimistic but not cocky. So I think we can get this series, but it's one game at a time.
The Jays lead the best-of-5 series after winning the first 2 games by a combined score of 23-8. Shane Bieber gets the start tonight on the mound. The Yankees will counter with Carlos Rodon. Jays slugger Vladdy Guerrero Jr. hit 2 home runs in the series, including that memorable grand slam in Game 2 with the bat flip. Nobody's talking about the bat flip. There's some attitude in that, Kayleen.
I think that move has a name.
Yeah, it's Jose Bautista trademarked it, I think. My goodness.
All right, let's take a look at this weather picture here. We're seeing a beautiful start to the day, although temperatures are a little bit lower. Not quite as low as what we saw yesterday, but still a little bit chilly to start the day. 2 degrees with that nice mix of sun and cloud. We do see a lot of those clouds out there right now. Those should be clearing into the mid to late afternoon. Some southeast winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour for both of the major Saskatchewan cities this morning. Saskatoon sitting at 4 degrees. Again, seeing that mix of sun and cloud. The radar and satellite not showing a whole lot today. We didn't see a lot in the province yesterday evening. Just a few little blips on the radar there of some light precipitation in the central zone. Other than that, we're mainly seeing that rain over in Alberta and some over in Manitoba as well. The Futurecast showing just what I just mentioned there about those clouds starting off throughout the areas around Saskatoon and Prince Albert. But as we get into those later afternoon hours, this is at about 5:15, we see those really pushing off, making way for a lot of sunshine this afternoon. As we get into Wednesday morning and those overnight hours, we do see some rain making its way in from Alberta, but it really is concentrating far up north. We don't really have to be concerned about that through the central or southern zones. And as we head into the evening hours, that should be pushing off and away from the northern zone there. We're not really seeing any precipitation on the radar for the central and southern parts of the province until the weekend. Current temperatures now showing that Nipawin is still stuck at that -9 degree point this morning, -7 for Hudson Bay and -1 for Melfort. So definitely grab a jacket if you're waking up with us from those areas. Yorkton at -7 this morning, -4 for Weyburn, 0 degrees in Assiniboia and 1 degree to wake us up in East End. Now, the forecast for this afternoon looking really nice. We mentioned how those clouds are likely going to be pushing off into the mid to late afternoon. And then when we see that sunshine, Swift Current will be seeing a nice high of 20 degrees, 19 degrees for Moose Jaw, 18 degrees in Weyburn, and 17 degrees expected for Estevan. It's the Parkland region where we're seeing some cooler temperatures. 8 degrees is where we're expecting that high to be today there. 15 degrees for Regina, though, 20 degrees tomorrow. So getting right back up into those 20-degree temperatures in many places tomorrow. 15 degrees on Thursday, 18 on Friday, 20 degrees on Saturday. So this week really looking beautiful, but it's next week starting on Sunday. We start to see those temperatures fall really all across the province, and also seeing some of that precipitation come right back up on our radar. 6 degrees for Saskatoon on Sunday, and the winds in both of those cities going to be increasing on Sunday up to about 50 to 55 kilometers per hour. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bright. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
The incident happened on September the 14th, 2025 at around 10:30 in the evening on Halloran Crescent. A man went into a yard and eventually into a building on the property, stealing several items before leaving in an unknown direction. The suspect is described as a man between the ages of 20 to 35 years old. He had scruffy facial hair and short brown hair. He was wearing gray shorts and a black T-shirt with a Quicksilver logo on the back.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
The Regina Sports Hall of Fame will induct its 2025 class Thursday night at the Connexus Arts Center. Dick White is with the Hall. He's in studio with us. Dick, thanks so much for doing this. Maybe just to start, let's remind people what the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is all about.
Well, we think it's really important to honor our sports heroes from this city, and there are so many of them, the people that have either accomplished great things as athletes, builders. This year we're recognizing a national championship team, and we really think that's important for inspiring a future generation to continue to excel in sport in this city.
And one of the cool things is the displays that are set up in the Cooperator Center, right along the hallway, right visible for everybody that walks through to see.
Yeah, we're so fortunate to have that permanent display at the Cooperator Center, and it's a great spot just to go and wander by and have a look at some of the people that have made sports special in our city.
And every time we do something like this, we say, how are they not already on this list? And that starts with Dale Durkach.
Oh, I was looking again at a few of his stats. The all-time leading scorer in Pat's history. Now, Pats have a very long history, and I started to look at 50, 60, 70 goals seasons when he was playing with the Pats. His number is retired in the Western Hockey League. Yeah. He what an incredible individual, and now has taken that and vaulted that into being GM of the Pats. So.
And it sure looked different when he played, right? He's got the Cooperalls. Stuff has really evolved since then. My goodness, what a great player! And you get to hear from all these people when you go to the event.
Absolutely. We have each of our inductees speak at the event, and we always say we're not going home till there's a tear shed at the podium, and really some of our inductees do get quite emotional over the honor of being inducted.
I think Steve Mazurek might do that as well. One of the Saskatchewan Roughrider greats.
It's quite possible. Steve's an incredible guy and a genuine guy, and the conversations I've had with him, it's amazing. It's amazing, given his career and the kind of things that Steve has done, how honored he is to be inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame.
And he also came up with the Green is the Color, the song that we all sing at game day, which is quite cool too. It's a big list. We've got Janine Polischuk, Rob Bresciani, Mervyn Tran, and the 2013, you mentioned the National Championship Regina Thunder team. What can people expect when they come out to an event like this?
Well, I think you can expect lots of community interaction. You can interact with our inductees and other members who really care about sport in Regina, so it's a great event. It's one that we think really inspires people and really honors our inductees in a great way.
And that's what it's all about, inspiration.
Absolutely, and we really think that these people will inspire future leaders and future athletes, and that's important to us, that for those of us that love sport.
I've seen some really cool conversations in the hallways of the Brand Center. Dale Durkach talking to Connor Bedard, now Maddox Schultz. I mean, you're right. It's just about inspiring the next generation. And you can be a part of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame induction night, which happens on Thursday night at
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
Morning. This sun's not out yet, but I'm in the tub here. This is a beautiful place at Sandals South Coast, and you could be here too with me. Maybe not in this tub because it would get awkward, but you could be here with passports, code words going on all day from 6 a to 6 p. Make sure you listen, fill it in on the website, and you can be here with us. All-inclusive trip for two to set sexy sandals, as they call it. So make sure you listen to the passport code words, and maybe you can have chicken nuggets in this tub for reference. Check out that. You could be doing that just like I'm doing right there. Look at me eating that chicken, just loving it. So make sure passports, plug it in on our website, adrielcastro927.ca.
Learning more about a popular drink that started in Utah. It's made its way to Saskatchewan now with Virginia DeClute.
A new twist on pop took the United States by storm when it was featured in a hit reality TV show last fall. It didn't take long before dirty soda bubbled its way into Saskatchewan.
It's definitely a sweet treat. Like, you can curate to what flavors you want in it, and it's a little bit something special, you know, a lighter snack than ice cream.
At Trans Mercantile in Moosomin, the viral sensation has been a hit since opening their shop in May.
It's a vendor collective, so we have a little bit of local artisans and people that love to make things, and we love to showcase them. So we have that, and then a cafe and some dirty sodas, and, you know, definitely a sip and shop kind of place.
Dessert Sweets in Regina also added the carbonated concoctions to their menu in May, and business was bubbling all summer long. But what is dirty soda exactly? And what makes it, well, dirty?
So dirty soda is you start with soda, or we have Alani's as well, and Red Bull sodas as well, and you add like syrups and or cream to them.
The drink was spearheaded by the Mormon community due to their religion's restriction on alcohol. But it's a nice refreshment for others as well.
If your provider's doing it right, there's diet pop and diet syrup options, and diabetics can get a soda, or lactose-free people can get a dirty soda. It can be inclusive if you want it to be.
Owners we spoke to agree that it's a pop culture phenomenon.
I think we were so excited to bring it in because, like, we kind of think that now with, like, the 25-year-old under crowd, coffee's, like, kind of out, I guess.
And the flavor combinations are endless, some of the most popular being...
Well, probably the Dr. P's recipe, which is a Dr. Pepper, grenadine, and then we use True Lime packages. Our most popular flavor is definitely the OG, so it's going to be coconut, vanilla, and cream in Dr. Pepper.
And just because summer is over, it doesn't mean dirty sodas are going away anytime soon.
But this is something that is so fun, and there's so many combinations that we can do, that we'll do seasonal ones, and we'll have them year round.
So you can get the dirt whenever the craving strikes. Virginia DeClute, CTV News, Yorkton.
We have to announce that we've made a decision to go back on tour.
Hi, we're going back on tour.
Rush returns to the road. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson say the tour will be a celebration of their music and legacy and the life of drummer and lyricist Neil Peart, who died in 2020. Annika Niles will fill in for Peart behind the drums. The tour begins next June at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, where Rush played its last gig in 2015.
You want one of these? It's ought to do. Let's get it!
Two iconic westerns are marking anniversaries. Silverado, starring Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, Kevin Costner, and Danny Glover, is 40 years old. And The Quick and the Dead, starring Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, and Leonardo DiCaprio, is 30 years old. Both are out today in anniversary limited edition 4K Ultra HD steelbooks.
Governor Bush, strategery.
Jim Downey went from the youngest writer at Saturday Night Live to the show's longest-running writer. In between, he wrote many of SNL's classic sketches and won 5 Emmy Awards. Downey wrote that about his influence on the show, features dozens of SNL cast members and writers. The doc debuts October 17th on Peacock. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, an unforgettable moment for a young gymnast. Take a look.
And this is when
Okay, so for people who don't know, this is really hard. Aerials are really hard. The face says it all. Only took a few seconds after she landed that aerial for her teammates to rush over and celebrate that moment. That is a big one. Congratulations to her.
Wow, I would hurt myself so hard.
Yeah.
My goodness. Okay, so there's a trend where pet owners will just fall to the ground, collapse, and say, what's my pet going to do? Well, let's find out what this one did.
Saying, that's cool, bro. He said, wow, that is very delightful.
That's premium English, so he was very proper.
Yeah, it was like British with an American accent.
Before we get to that, kids apparently ditching slang for proper English.
Which I love. And I know you probably love as an English major.
Yeah, that's just...
And a journalism major here. We love that children are speaking proper English now.
Sometimes so totes done with half words. Now let's show you the fainting pets. She pretends to faint, and the enigmatic emus are like, you know, I'm just going to peck for a pulse. I'm totally not going to eat my owner. It's fine.
Yeah, no, they definitely won't do that. Yeah, you're safe.
Back after this. It's Tuesday, October 7th.
I lost my brother. I have one brother. He was my only brother, 3.5 years younger than me. He was my anchor in life.
Families and survivors mourn the people killed or taken hostage during the October 7th attacks 2 years ago today.
I did appreciate Chief McCallum's comments to ensure everyone is moving forward in an honest and humble way, and I think that is in there are some words for all of us.
Premier Scott Moe supporting a Saskatchewan Vice Chief speaking out against the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations.
It's definitely a sweet treat. Like, you can curate to what flavors you want in it, and it's a little bit something special, you know, a lighter snack than ice cream.
A uniquely Utah twist on soda that took the United States by storm, bubbling its way into Saskatchewan. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. We hope you're starting the day with us eating a yummy breakfast because my stomach's growling over here. I don't know if the microphone is picking it up.
I didn't think you wanted to talk about it.
No, we can talk about it. I need to go eat breakfast.
It is out of control. If you got a little extra, maybe drive it by the station.
Yeah, bring me breakfast.
Yeah. Can you imagine somebody just drops off some hotcakes?
I heard through the microphone her stomach was grumbling.
You have producers. You could send one.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. A breakfast sandwich, please.
We sound entitled now.
They just said no in my ear.
Let's get to news and enough of this. We begin in Washington, where Prime Minister Mark Carney is getting set for a face-to-face meeting with the U.S. President at the White House.
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
Mark Carney is expected to push Donald Trump for relief on punishing tariffs on Canadian steel, and there's a new levy for leaders to talk about this morning. Trump posting on social media that the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on light and medium-duty trucks. The Prime Minister's office says Energy Minister Tim Hodgson will also be part of the delegation. As we mentioned, 25% tariff coming to trucks soon.
Could be fire trucks, could be buses. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
U.S. President Donald Trump made the announcement with a November 1st start date. Last month, the president said heavy truck imports would face new duties on national security grounds, saying new tariffs were to protect manufacturers from, quote, unfair outside competition. Mexico is the largest exporter of medium and heavy-duty trucks to the U.S. The Liberal government is changing when the future budgets will be delivered and how they'll be calculated. Judy Trin on why and reaction.
In a break with long-standing practice, the finance minister says all future budgets will come down in the fall, enabling the government to get transfer payments out earlier in the fiscal year.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
The Liberals are also changing the budget framework to separate day-to-day spending from capital investments. Operational day-to-day costs include health and social transfers and government salaries, while capital investments encompass spending on major projects, housing, clean energy, and infrastructure.
When will the budget be balanced?
At the Finance Committee, the opposition slammed the minister for budget changes that don't add up.
Debt is still debt at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many columns you try to present in front of Canadians and try to trick them. Are you guys going to be cooking the books?
It's irresponsible for a member of parliament to use language like that. I will say that. It's irresponsible.
The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimated that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. Some economists say clearly showing how much the government is spending on capital investment is important.
What are we using debt finance for? Is it for, for capital investment, like, in terms that will be there for decades, or is it for current consumption?
Francois-Philippe Champagne says the Liberal government will balance the operational budget in 3 years while continuing to invest in major projects. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Premier Scott Moe says his government is not considering ending photo radar in the province. The effectiveness of automated speed enforcement, that's what those cameras are technically called, has been under debate in other provinces, including Ontario, where the Premier there, Doug Ford, has called it a cash grab. The Ontario government plans legislation this fall to end its use, but Saskatchewan's Premier says he believes it reduces traffic speed.
I think it has proved to be effective in keeping speeds at a minimum, in particular in school zones, and that's would be the highest priority space. And so we haven't had any of those discussions here, but I did hear that Premier Ford was sounding off on photo radar in Toronto and Ontario.
Saskatchewan has 9 photo radar cameras. In case you were wondering, they're located in Regina, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw, and Waka. City of Saskatoon unveiling a new housing strategy to reduce homelessness and boost affordability. The plan heads to City Committee this week for its first round of approvals. Stacey Hine with the details.
Roughly 11,000 households in Saskatoon, or about 10% of households, face housing insecurity, with low-income families, single mothers, seniors, and Indigenous residents most affected. To address the growing need, the city is rolling out a new affordable housing plan called Housing Saskatoon. Mayor Cynthia Block says supporting vulnerable residents is a top priority.
It's important to me that we are getting people at the lowest end so that they can start to move through the housing continuum as they get those support services going through.
The Saskatchewan Realtors Association says adding housing at any level helps the entire market.
We know that anywhere if we increase that supply in that housing continuum, it's going to have a trickle-down effect upstream and downstream. And so any kind of option that we see that will add more housing in our community, we see as a very positive recommendation.
The plan focuses on diversifying housing, increasing affordability, and ensuring fair access to housing. It outlines several targeted actions, most set to begin immediately. The housing strategy will be presented at 2 City Committee meetings Wednesday. Councillors will consider 3 budget options for 2026-2027. The first at $2.5 million, the second at $4.5 million, or the third at $8.6 million. City officials say dedicated municipal funding is key to qualifying for time-sensitive federal and provincial grants.
Final decisions will come as part of the 2026-27 business plan and budget talks. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
As the weather cools off, you've likely seen at least a few birds in flight. And a popular stop before heading south for the year is the northern end of Last Mountain Lake, which happens to be the oldest bird sanctuary in all of North America. Sierra D'Souza Butts reports.
Living near a National Historic Bird Sanctuary is a unique experience for the Nordic family.
The scenery, the quietness, we say it's so quiet, it's so loud, it's quiet. It's hard to describe.
But it's not just the serene surroundings. Troy says the sanctuary provides an educational opportunity to his children.
I've learned that there's a bunch of birds here, and it's just a really good place here.
Many different birds, and the sunsets are
very amazing. Like, it's just beautiful.
The Last Mountain Lake Migratory Bird Sanctuary, located 165 kilometers southeast of Saskatoon, is home to millions of birds using the space for various reasons, including migration.
The birds will go up the continent of North America from where they spend their winter, which can be in Texas, in, Minnesota. It could be all the way down to South America, Argentina. They spend their winters there, and then they hopscotch up the continent in areas that have decent habitat and are safe for them.
Hecker says the historic site sees millions of birds of various species every year, particularly in the spring and fall, who are traveling as far as 15,000 kilometers.
Kind of surreal to me. Like, you see them, it just seems impossible that they can go that distance.
The birds that nest in the Arctic and the boreal forest across Canada's north coast are up here, and then when they go to migrate, they actually narrow themselves down and come through parts of Saskatchewan, and we're right in the middle of that central flyway. Then once they get past Saskatchewan, as they continue their migration, then they fan out again.
The site is the first bird sanctuary established in North America, with Canada's first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, signing the cabinet documents back in 1887. The land is also home to Canada's first protected area set aside for wildlife. With fall migration being a great time to visit the sanctuary, Hecker reminds people that the site is open to the public year-round from dawn to dusk. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan Roughriders getting set to take on the Toronto Argonauts this week, and for the first time in a long time, the receiving corps may be healthy. Donovan Mace reports.
Harris over the middle. First down to the 25. Look who it is. Schaefer Baker back in the lineup.
After missing 13 games due to injury, Kean Schaefer-Baker is more than excited to be back catching footballs.
Just being out here with the boys, there's no better feeling than that.
However, that extended time away does mean he is refamiliarizing himself with the Riders' offense.
It's never an easy adjustment. Even during that time, I really harped on just getting some of the younger guys ready and making sure they were ready to step into their roles and hit the ground rolling.
In fact, injuries throughout the receiving corps have made for some miscues.
Harris, end zone, no!
16 different players have caught at least one pass from quarterback Trevor Harris so far this season. A rotating door on offense impacting chemistry.
When everybody plays different and loses positions, it's going to be a little bit of time, but thankfully I've got plenty of reps with these guys.
Now, despite that, Saskatchewan remains near the top of the league in most offensive categories, something coordinator Mark Mueller credits Harris for.
He works the whole time. He gets throws with certain guys. Hey, we need to work this. We haven't got it. Hey, we missed that one. Let's do it again. And that just brings the best of everybody. So it does take some time.
As the team hopes to peak with its full complement of weapons in the lineup just in time for the final stretch before playoffs.
It's become a familiarity, and I think we're going to be hitting our stride just at the right time.
Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Pressure by the Red Blacks.
Kaylee Swatsky, we get over to you and get ready for football weather. That game day's this close.
Well, we're seeing some very nice temperatures this week. It's next week that we start to see the temperatures go down. And on Sunday is when we start to see some more of that rain falling in the central and southern zones. Today, though, it's just concentrating way up north. This morning view is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. 2 degrees still in Regina. We've been really stuck at that 2-degree mark for quite a while now this morning. A mix of sun and cloud to wake us up, and some southeast winds that are still coming in at 17 kilometers per hour for both Regina and Saskatoon this hour. Saskatoon, though, a little bit warmer at 4 degrees to start the day off, so a little bit chilly. Grab a very light jacket on your way out the door. We're seeing some nice temperatures later, though. Just have to get through this chilly morning. Radar and satellite not showing a whole lot for us yesterday and into those overnight hours. Some little blips on the radar showing some patches of green with a little bit of precipitation. Mainly, we're seeing that over in Alberta and over in Manitoba, though. The futurecast only really showing some cloud cover for the day today. We do see that rain coming in from the northern part of Alberta into the northern part of Saskatchewan. That's going to be starting later on this afternoon, pushing off during those overnight hours and into tomorrow. Other than that, again, we're seeing a lot of sunshine down towards the south. Current temperatures now showing the warm-up is starting. It's just happening rather slowly this morning. -5 for for Nipawin. That's a bit better than about 20 minutes ago when they were at -9 degrees. 1 degree in Spiritwood now, 2 degrees in Moose Jaw, 2 degrees in Assiniboia, and things are warming up in Weyburn and Estevan, although we're still in those negative temperatures, -1 for both of those cities. Today's forecast showing 20 degrees for Swift Current and the Battlefords. Mix of sun and cloud for both of those cities. Moose Jaw up to 19 degrees, Weyburn up to 18 degrees. Cooler through the Parkland region and areas surrounding it. So Yorkton only reaching about 8 degrees today. Wynyard really only reaching about 9 degrees as well. Now in Regina, the 7-day forecast looking really nice and beautiful and sunny until Saturday, the end of the day there. And then Sunday, we see a dramatic temperature drop down to about 9 degrees in Regina and about 6 degrees for Saskatoon. Both cities expecting some very light rain to move in during those afternoons as well. And the winds on your screen showing about 20, just over 20 kilometers per hour, but we could be seeing gusts up to about 50 or 55 kilometers per hour.
On this day in 1992, Canada's Finance Minister Michael Wilson initiated the North American Free Trade Agreement. October 7, 2001, Canadian fighter pilots and ground troops joined in the NATO attack on the Taliban in Afghanistan. And on October 7, 1992, the Montreal Canadiens held a ceremony to retire Jacques Plante's #1. He won 6 Stanley Cups, 7 Vezina trophies, and is a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Is going to be on the Toronto Blue Jays tonight as they try to win, and the Maple Leafs are throwing their support behind them.
What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay. Okay. Blue Jays. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Okay. Okay. Blue Jays. Blue Jays. Let's play.
Okay.
Leafs have been great supporters of the Jays apparently so far this postseason, with a number of their players being spotted at Rogers Centre over the course of the weekend. The Leafs open their season tomorrow.
Yeah, and this ties really nicely into our question of the day coming up here. Yeah,
absolutely. So we're asking, what is your favorite NHL team? But why is that your favorite NHL team? Did you pick it because you grew up watching it, because you had 4 channels and you either chose the Leafs or the Canadians? What did you do?
Well, so Heather's saying she chose the Toronto Maple Leafs because her mom is a fan, but also because they haven't won a Stanley Cup in years.
Yeah, not since 1967.
Yeah. So I'm not a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but hey, you gotta love if any Canadian team wins, right? Another answer on our text line saying, I'm cheering for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hopefully they do better this season. No specific reason, they're just her team.
Fair enough.
Nathan saying the Ottawa Senators grew up with my family supporting the Leafs and decided to be different. The pizza line was always fun to watch. Sheena siding with you, Daryl, and with me. I'm just kind of walking the line these days, though. The Calgary Flames, forever and always. Even my Wi-Fi name is Go Flames Go.
Now, if you know where Sheena lives, you can get free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't know the password. That's just the Wi-Fi name. You can maybe guess something Flames related.
Fair enough.
Howard saying Montreal Canadiens, as Ken Dryden is my favorite goalie. And Brenda saying, I grew up watching the Montreal Canadiens with my grandpa, so that's a great reason to love them. Margie C on X saying, I've loved the Edmonton Oilers ever since I got to watch a team practice with Gretzky and some other legends, and she goes to a game every single year. That's commitment.
That is commitment. That's a good drive.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your answers for today's question of the day. We'll have another one for you tomorrow. I forgot to ask.
October may mean pumpkins and colorful leaves, but for some, it also kicks off a month-long challenge to stay sober.
Abstaining from alcohol for even a short period of time can really make a big difference when it comes to our health.
Registered dietitian Sarah Ream with Orlando Health says alcohol puts a strain on the body, and those cocktails can have consequences.
It can increase our risk for cancer. It can increase symptoms of anxiety, depression, even learning problems. And long-term alcohol use can really increase our risk for things like like heart disease, hypertension, which is high blood pressure.
Whether you're sober curious and plan to cut back or want to kick your drinking habit altogether, Reem says to set yourself up for success by planning ahead. If you're used to having a drink after work or out with friends, it's helpful to still have something in your hand.
Still have a beverage, but maybe that's a sparkling water or a non-alcoholic alternative to our favorite beverage.
Next, Reem says to still maintain the integrity of the habit, use a wine glass or beer tumbler you're used to using with the non-alcoholic drink. And finally, let your friends and family know what you're doing.
Even getting a buddy to do it with you. That way you have somebody that is there supporting you, kind of going through this journey with you.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Local charities are feeling the love thanks to one of Saskatchewan's newest charitable lotteries, Unity Sweepstakes. To tell us what this is and how it impacts local organizations, we have Hannah Wilson from the Regina Humane Society here with us. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's jump right on in for people who don't know, what is Unity Sweepstakes?
Yeah, so Unity is a brand new province-wide multi-charity sweepstakes. We currently have 7 charities involved, including us at the Regina Humane Society. We also have the Moose Jaw Humane Society, the Prince Albert SPCA, Habitat for Humanity, which I think you had on last month. And then we also had Mackenzie Art Gallery, the Regina Public Library, and the YWCA. And all of us are a part of this multi-charity sweepstakes to support the common good instead of competing against each other.
And it's a really cool idea to bring this all together for a great cause and a few great causes. But how does Unity Sweepstakes actually differ from other charitable gaming programs?
Yeah, so there are 2 major reasons, I think. So the first is when you buy a Unity Sweepstakes ticket, you can choose to support a single charity. You can also choose to support all of our charities, which is great. So you can choose to support all of our local Saskatchewan charities. The second thing is we have something called the final flip. So when you win a grand prize, if you're guaranteed the grand prize, but you also have a 50% chance of doubling your prize if you flip the correct final flip card. So for our first sweepstakes last month, our winner won $50,000, are guaranteed, and then also flipped the correct final flip card, so ended up winning $100,000.
Well, that sounds like a sweet prize.
Indeed.
Yeah, okay. We talked about how it's going to help local organizations, but let's get a little bit deeper into that. You are from the Regina Humane Society. Just how important are these funds?
Very. So the Regina Humane Society, we see over 3,700 animals that come through our doors a year. So as you can imagine, taking care of those animals costs a lot of money. And so funds from Unity Sweepstakes are really helpful for that. And then not only do they help the animals in our shelter, but we also do a lot of community engagement through programs like our Pet Connection and education programs. And so Unity Sweepstakes funds really helps that as well.
So some pretty sweet prizes last month that you just told us about. What's new for Unity Sweepstakes this month?
Yeah, so this month our grand prize is $25,000, and then our final flip is potentially another $25,000. But we also have 3 early bird prizes. So we have a $5,000 early bird, a $3,000 early bird, and a $2,000 early bird. And if you buy your tickets today, then you are eligible for all 3 of the early birds and also the grand prize.
Sounds pretty sweet. So we've probably caught some attention here. How can people go and grab their tickets?
They can go online to unitysweepstakes.ca to buy tickets there.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Once again, that was Hannah Wilson joining us from the Regina Humane Society to talk all about Unity Sweepstakes. You can head on over to their website to grab your tickets.
Mike Siona has been on the go out at the youth farm in Rostern this morning. Let's check in with him one last time. Mike?
Well, Mark Wirtz and I have made it out of the corn maze, and as luck would have it, the Burger Shack and the Kiss Me ice cream stand are right behind us here at the Youth Farm Corn Maze. I love the proximity of everything. Talk about some of the food options here, because it's not just a corn maze, not just a place to play, but some good eats too.
Oh yeah, our specialty is our corn maze special. It's a great burger with some good toppings. We have poutine that goes out the door like crazy. There's like thousands of each weekend that go. Kiss Me, the ice cream shack. Hopefully it's going to be warm enough this Thanksgiving to use use it. But it's, yeah, we have lots of different flavors, lots of different creations. And we even have this is an ice cream shack in Nicaragua as well that we run down there during the winter. So come to Nicaragua with us as well.
Fantastic. Now, just have a look here as we kind of pat across. You got the new playground you said put in last year, the actual corn maze. You can see it looks pretty intimidating from here, actually. And a brisk Saskatchewan morning here. Hopefully the weather turns out, but you're here, rain or shine, for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, we're open Thursdays from 10 to 2, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holiday Monday this weekend, too, from 1 to 8.
Fantastic. We checked out the pumpkins already. There's also, it's a little too brisk right now for the bubble station, but you guys have something for the whole family.
Oh, yeah. There's you can be here for a long time. You can enjoy we have pedal carts, we have the climbing wall, we have many different options, around 15 or 20 activities if you count them all up.
Fantastic. All right. Well, there you go. Slice it up, put it on your list, and get out here to the Youth Farm Corn Maze.
Saskatchewan, it is just about 8:30. Premier Scott Moe is supporting a Saskatchewan Vice Chief speaking out against the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. 4th Vice Chief Craig McCallum wrote this open letter last week responding to allegations the FSIN is facing after a federal audit questioned more than $34 million in spending over a 5-year run. In his letter, McCallum, who was elected to the executive last fall, said there needs to be change moving forward and that denial and detraction will not restore trust.
I did appreciate Chief McCallum's comments to ensure everyone is moving forward in an honest and humble way, and I think that is in there are some words for all of us.
Moe says Ottawa is the FSIN's largest funding partner, with the province working with them on gaming agreements to keep casinos operational. Last week, FSIN leadership said it had set a new standard for financial accountability and transparency unmatched by any other organization in Canada. The final trial connected to the death of Megan Gallagher has begun more than 5 years after she was first reported missing. 47-year-old Roderick Sutherland is charged with manslaughter in the case, entering a not guilty plea Monday. Gallagher was 30 years old when she went missing in September of 2020. Her remains were found 2 years later near St. Louis in the South Saskatchewan. The trial opened with jury selection. More than 100 people called before a final panel of 12 was selected. Now, Sutherland is the last of 9 people charged in connection with her death. The trial is expected to last 2 weeks. Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, 2 of the prominent Freedom Convoy leaders, are expected to learn their fate today, nearly 4 years after the protest movement blockaded downtown Ottawa. Leach was, both were found guilty of mischief in April, with Barber also convicted of counseling others to commit mischief. The Crown is seeking 7 years for Leach, 8 years for Barber, citing widespread impact on Ottawa residents. Defense lawyers are asking for an absolute discharge, pointing to strict bail conditions already served. High-stakes conversations taking place in Egypt right now as delegations from Hamas and Israel engage in indirect talks led by mediators from the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt. They're all working off of Trump's 20-point plan to end the war.
This is a deal that, incredibly, everyone just came together. They all came together. No, Israel's been great. I think we're doing very well, and I think Hamas has been agreeing to things that are very important.
Meanwhile, explosions rang out in Gaza this morning. According to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, more than 67,000 people have been killed by Israel's military campaign in response to the attacks over 2 years. Now, blockades have continued, strikes have continued, fueling the humanitarian crisis in the territory. Commemorations are taking place this morning, marking 2 years since the October 7th attacks. At the site of Nova Music Festival, people are reflecting on the horror that unfolded a couple of years ago when Hamas launched a series of surprise attacks in southern Israel. Memorials today are remembering the victims of the attacks. 1,200 people were killed by Hamas and 251 taken hostage. There is another planned outage at the Buffalo Pound water treatment plant today. The outage is scheduled to begin at 7 o'clock, so an hour and a half ago. It should last 12 hours, 7 p.m. tonight. The planned outage is part of ongoing construction at the facility. Capacity in the Moose Jaw reservoirs will allow service to continue uninterrupted, is what they say. A Saskatchewan man who suffered a brain injury as a result of a car crash is getting into the world of 3D printing, hoping his creations can help others. Nicholas started making adaptive technology with some creations as simple as an item to hold a deck of cards so you can play a game. Some of the costs have been covered by him personally, but now he's getting some grants from Makers Making Change. Easy for me to say. It's an organization that helps people with disabilities thrive.
I've always been interested in technology, and this is perfect because it allows me to use both my, I love soldering and setting up like that, and it also I can use my software expertise like the Raspberry Pi.
The Makers Making Change website has all of his devices listed. Incredible video to show you this morning. Heart-pounding moments for a group of tourists on a canoe trip in Botswana, desperately trying to escape an angry elephant. Janae Norman reports.
This morning, the terrifying moment on a safari that left tourists scared for their lives. Watch as a massive elephant protecting the herd's young calves charges this group on a canoe safari in Botswana, flipping over the boat.
The first thought that came to my mind was, this is the end of me.
Jeff Melvin and Larry Unrain were on that tour boat that they say started as an incredible adventure, but took an unexpected turn as they approached the herd of elephants.
We could tell that they were kind of getting a little annoyed at our presence, and then just in the blink of an eye, things kind of changed.
What we did not see was the mom with the two babies. Yeah. They were hidden in some tall grass, but out of sight.
Within minutes, the elephant begins charging toward them. With the help of the guides, Jeff and Larry making it out safely, but moments later, that elephant, which could have weighed up to 10,000 pounds, trampled a fellow tourist who thankfully survived.
He was pushed in twice and held under, and if it wasn't for the water, she would not be with us.
The water acting as a cushion, also helping conceal her from the animal.
That patron was incredibly lucky that this happened in the water, because generally speaking, elephants, what they do when they go after somebody is they literally try to mash them into the ground.
Experts say an elephant guarding calves is considered one of the most dangerous animals in the wild.
There's nothing more dangerous than an elephant mother with young calves. They're incredibly protective. I think it's important that people understand you need to respect distance. You need to give animals distance.
Larry and Jeff, thankful they survived.
I thought for sure I was dead, and then once I was safe, it's just jubilation. I was very happy to be alive.
Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Story for the rest of their lives, believe me. The Toronto Blue Jays 1 win away from the American League Championship Series.
3-0 and keep going up to the World Series.
The team is so good this year. I think they're gonna go just up till they win.
Optimistic but not cocky. So I think we can get this series, but it's one game at a time.
Blue Jays lead the best-of-5 series 2-0 after a pair of big wins. The Jays lead that series. They scored 23 runs over 2 games. Shane Bieber gets the start tonight. Jays slugger Vladdy Guerrero Jr. had 2 home runs in the series, including that memorable grand slam in Game 2. Edmonton Oilers have re-signed their superstar.
When you see Connors, it's obvious what he wants, which is he wants to win, and his actions have shown that. I think that's a pretty inspiring thing for a player to see.
The Oilers captain Connor McDavid signing a 2-year deal worth $25 million US. Puck drops on the NHL season tonight. The Oilers play the Calgary Flames tomorrow. It's an 8 o'clock puck drop. Kaylee, it's so hard to watch hockey and you work this show because I don't think I've seen a third period in years.
Because we get snoozy. We got to go to sleep.
The guy's got to sleep.
Yeah, I don't watch the games with my husband. I'm like, good night.
Is he the guy with like the noise-canceling headphones and you just hear like grunts and, yeah?
No, thankfully, he watches it on a different floor than me. Our bedroom is upstairs, so I can go to sleep in peace, thankfully.
Smart veteran move. What's going on in the weather today?
Well, we're seeing a cooler start to the day, so definitely grab a light jacket on your way out of the door, but at least it's going to be in the afternoon warmer than what we saw yesterday. And we're also seeing winds that are just a little bit more calm than what we saw yesterday. 2 degrees to wake us up in Regina, still some southeast winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour for both cities, and still sitting at 4 degrees in Saskatoon. Although this morning view is getting a whole lot brighter, we're already starting to see some of those clouds making their way out of the area, which is what we've been talking about so far this morning. The radar and satellite not showing a whole lot from late last night into the overnight hours in Saskatchewan. We are seeing some precipitation mainly in Alberta and over in Manitoba yesterday and into the overnight hours. Today, though, in Saskatchewan, we're just talking about that cloud cover that's going to be pushing off even later into the afternoons. We're going to be seeing a lot of sunshine throughout the central and southern zones and just some more of that cloud cover up north as we see some rain making its way in from Alberta. That's going to be pushing off as we make our way farther into Wednesday tomorrow. Other than that, though, we're not really seeing any of that precipitation throughout the central or the southern zones until the weekend. Current temperatures now showing Nipawin at -5, Melfort at 0 degrees, Spiritwood at 1 degree. So temperatures have been fluctuating a little bit, going up and down. Swift Current now at 3 degrees, Assiniboia at 2 degrees, and Weyburn and Estevan still waking up at that -1 degree mark for now. It's going to be starting to warm up, though. It's going to be a very pleasant day, above the seasonal average in many areas, including Weyburn up to 18 degrees, Estevan up to 17 degrees, Moose Jaw 19, Swift Current up to 20 degrees. Battleford's also enjoying that nice high of 20 degrees today in Regina. We're expecting that high of 15 degrees with that sunshine. Winds could be gusting up to about 30 kilometers per hour, but again, that is not quite as strong as what we saw yesterday. Getting right back up to 20 degrees tomorrow, 15 degrees on Thursday, 18 degrees on Friday, and 20 degrees on Saturday. So this week, very beautiful temperatures, nice and sunny. It's actually next week that we start to see those temperatures dropping down quite significantly. Sunday, 9 degrees for Regina with that rain moving in. Could be seeing some gustier conditions on Sunday as well. Mix of sun and cloud on Monday with that high of 6 degrees. Again, in Saskatoon, we're seeing some very nice temperatures until Sunday. So 17 degrees today, 19 tomorrow, 14 on Thursday, getting up to 18 for both Friday and Saturday before dropping down to 6 degrees on Sunday with that rain and 5 degrees on Monday with the mix of sun and cloud. Well, now that summer has come and gone, you may be thinking now is the perfect time to plan a getaway as winter approaches. Joining us now for details on some unforgettable offerings from Member Choice Vacations is Shannon Chill with CAA Saskatchewan. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first off, we're talking about a trip through the heart of Western Europe. What should we know?
So this one here that we're talking about is a 12-day adventure through Netherlands, Belgium, and France. It starts in Amsterdam. You cruise along the famous canals, and you take in the colorful gardens at Keukenhof. And then you're off to Belgium, where Bruges feels straight out of a fairy tale. It's full of cobblestone streets and chocolate shops. They have a local brewery that you stop at. Then you're going to make your way to France's Champagne region, where you're going to sip some bubbly, finish the tour in Paris, which is the pièce de résistance. Lots of time to explore there, and you're going to enjoy great food, soak up the history and culture along the way.
Straight out of a fairy tale is right. Those photos already giving us a bit of a travel itch. If someone is wanting a bit of a warmer getaway, though, there's also an adventure to check out Southern Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Southern Spain to coastal Portugal tour. It's a small group journey that takes you deep into the Iberian Peninsula. You enjoy flamenco lessons, sample award-winning olives in the Douro Valley, explore the Moorish palaces that tell centuries-old stories. You get a chance to try tapas, stroll through the colorful markets, and immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions that make Spain and Portugal so unforgettable.
And that's where some of the best food is, too. You can enjoy that on your trip. Heading even further from home, though, tell us about the Wonders of Thailand tour.
So this one here is a truly exotic escape. So Thailand offers golden temples, floating markets, lush jungles. You'll get to experience the exciting energy of Bangkok with a tuk-tuk ride, explore the ruins of Sukhothai, and relax on the sun-soaked beaches of Phuket. You'll share meals with locals, discover unique cultural experiences, and you even get to take part in a local home-hosted meal with this trip. Every moment is a chance to connect with the country's heritage and their natural beauty.
And here's our final one, which will definitely catch our eye. We're talking about the Colors of Morocco tour. Why should viewers check this one out?
So this is a very unique journey. It takes you across deserts, mountains, and vibrant cities in Morocco. You'll explore the colorful souks of Marrakesh, ride a camel across the Sahara at sunset, and spend a night in a desert camp under the stars. So you'll see the historic Kasbahs to the fragrant spice markets. This adventure engages all of your senses, and it'll offer you memories that you'll truly never forget.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Shannon, and giving us that travel itch. If you want more information, you can head on over to CAA Saskatchewan's website/travel. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bright. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Is Yukon Blonde. They have a brand new album out. It's called Friendship and Rock and Roll. And joining us from the road, one of the Yukon Blonders. That's right. It is Brandon Scott, Brandon Scott Wolf. And we want to say thank you for taking some time for us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about the title, Friendship and Rock and Roll. Yukon Blonde has been a band for 20 years. You got together when you were all you guys were living in Kelowna. So has that friendship changed over the year? Were some breakups? Were there some downtime, some high times? How has that changed over the years?
Yeah, there's been some ebb and flow for sure. You know, you move with the times. We've had a few, we've had off in between records sometimes, but you know, the main majority of it is we're just really good pals and we like making music together, so it's been good.
And what's interesting too is that I understand this is the first time all the band members will be doing at least one solo lead on the album.
That's correct. Yeah, we got a little Beatlesy on this one. So yeah, even our drummer takes a song. It's really nice. Yeah.
I hope you treat him nicer than Ringo gets treated sometimes. There you go.
Star treatment. Yeah.
When it comes to putting together an album like this, I understand that you maybe took a different approach in terms of the actual recording, just in terms of being a bit more, I'll say, Spartan. Is that fair?
Yeah, honestly, just getting kind of back to how we used to do it is like, we'll just bring in a song and jam it out, build it, and then, rehearse it really well before you go into the studio. The previous records we've been doing, we've been just kind of writing them in the studio so that it's heavily based on production, and this is just the live band, you know.
And now, when you go on a road trip like this, I believe it's, 20 cities? Is that how many cities you're hitting? But in the width and breadth of a tour like this, are there some places that you're I don't want to say, of course you're looking forward to getting back to Saskatchewan, but are there some particular venues that have nostalgic memories for you that you really want to get back to?
Of course. And, yeah, don't sell those guys short. I love coming to Amigos and Exchange. Like, we've been playing there for so long. And it's actually been almost 10 years since we've been back to Amigos. So that I actually am very much looking forward to that show, yeah. But you know, like Toronto, we've never actually played this venue tonight, so this will be. I was actually really looking forward to this one tonight. It would be really fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brandon Scott Wolf from Yukon Blonde. The new album is Friendship and Rock and Roll.
Sunshine.
Dwayne Johnson is used to smash hits at the box office, but his latest film, The Smashing Machine, marks the lowest box office debut of his career, taking in just $6 million over the weekend. On Instagram Monday, the actor addressed the film's disappointing box office performance and shared his appreciation for those who went to see it in theaters. Truth is, this film has changed my life, he wrote. Rush is returning to the road. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famers have announced dates for their 50-something tour, which will mark their first trek in 10 years and their first since the 2020 death of their drummer and lyricist Neil Peart. The tour will kick off next summer and hit 7 cities in North America. Tickets go on sale October 17th. Cyndi Lauper is heading to Las Vegas. The singer wrapped her Girls Just Wanna Have Fun farewell tour back in August, but she'll be saying hello to a new residency in 2026 with 5 dates lined up at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. And The View co-host Joy Behar is 83 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's a popular trainer at SeaWorld in San Diego. Andre Thomas loves working with dolphins and entertaining a crowd.
Yeah, but as NBC's Joe Little shows us, Andre Thomas decided, he can't decide rather, whether working to serve and protect with the San Diego police or working with the dolphins is his favorite day job.
They are some of SeaWorld's biggest stars.
Right here.
And Andre Thomas may be their best friend.
Doing what I love, and it's just being natural and being genuine.
The Fresno native has been a trainer with dolphins and orcas at SeaWorld for 17 years.
No.
Andre got the bug from his aunts.
2 of my biggest role models in my life wanted to do it, so I said, you know what, so do I.
Yet these dolphins and these guests may never know the other place Andre spends his days.
These 2 career paths that I've chosen they don't really coincide with each other on your typical day-to-day basis.
The dolphin trainer is also
Andre Thomas, Thomas, Sergeant for San Diego PD.
A few years after he started training dolphins, Sergeant Thomas's brother was murdered in Fresno. Andre felt the pull to serve.
What can I do to help prevent this from happening to somebody else?
Andre joined the academy, where fellow cadets quickly learned he had another day job.
I got teased a little bit. I got a couple of nicknames out there. Shamu was the one that I got called the most. Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Thomas has worked patrol, SWAT, and trained other recruits. Now he does media relations for the department.
I love being here, putting on a uniform, putting on a badge.
He knows it's an interesting life. Sergeant Andre Thomas, dolphin trainer, has a custom wetsuit to cover his bases.
In a car chase or in a foot chase and fighting someone, and the next day I'm here doing shows for 3,500 people.
He gets the best of both worlds. Protecting and serving in uniform and working with his closest friends on his days off.
This is my vice. This is my getaway.
So that begs the question, Kaylee, if you had a second job to go with your early morning day job, what might you choose?
This is so funny. It shouldn't be funny, but I have always said if I wasn't in news, I would want to work in like the funeral industry.
Oh.
Like a funeral home director, something like that. Yeah. What about you?
Not that. Not that. Let's get to your sidebar.
He's not going to answer.
I've been doing radio all week. I guess I'd have to say radio. I'm just so taken aback by it.
Okay, I'll tell you all my reasons after the show. But this is another question of the day idea. What would your other career be?
There's a lot of money to be made in that. Levi's is marking the 30th anniversary of Toy Story with a brand new collection. As long as we're on the subject, they've teamed up with Disney and Pixar for a limited edition toy. It's said to be a mix of Woody's cowboy roots and nostalgia with film-inspiring details. Officially dropped last week, and some of the items are already sold out. So there you go. You got some Toy Story clothing you can try out.
Okay, I would try it out. Would you?
Some of the stuff looks okay. I'm not a jean jacket type of dude, but...
Hey, Agribition's coming up.
That's true, it is.
All right. Here's another one for you. Witches and warlocks hit the water in Ontario for a good cause.
We decided to team up with the food bank, especially with this significance of the scarcity of the food this year. And I love to do everything with some kind of charity involved.
Now, that cause is the 3rd annual Witches and Warlocks paddle. It's organized by the Sudbury Canoe Club and is meant to raise money for their local food bank. After the paddle, the festivities moved to the shore with Halloween treats, music, and other activities.
At the Calgary airport, they have those people that give people white hats when they come in.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I picture you doing at the airport here, not directing somebody's last wishes.
You want me giving out free hats at the airport?
I want you greeting live people and not the opposite.
I just think I'd be very comforting for the families. I think I have one of those personalities where I'd be like, I'm so sorry for your loss. Let me guide you through this grief.
Also, it's going to be 4 degrees and sunny. Have a great rest of your morning. On that note, we'll see you back here first thing tomorrow morning.